Hello there you beautiful people, it's Liquid here giving you a warm welcome back to the channel. I hope you're safe and I hope you're well from wherever you're watching today. Now for today's video we're jumping back into DCS and I actually wanted to take you through my recent display with the virtual Ukrainian Su-27 demo from the Thunder over Kutaisi Airshow. Now I recorded the cockpit footage of this display because I had a comment a few weeks back on another Su-27 video saying it would be quite cool to see what the display looked like from the cockpit, so I figured this was a perfect opportunity. Now during this video I'm going to show you some real life cockpit shots from the actual Ukrainian display which took place at RIA last year, which I was fortunate enough to see. Unfortunately no airshow action this year for COVID reasons, as well as some of the footage from actual Ukrainian displays to show you some of the inspiration as we go through the demo, as well as showing you a bit more footage from the Thunder over Kutaisi Airshow as well.
ATC to liquid, clear to position and hold. Runway 08.
Copy that, position and hold 08. So we've been given our clearance to taxi and hold. Taxiing out onto the runway then, 08 here at Kutaisi.
ATC to liquid, intro is running.
When you taxi onto the runway I did start to get a dose of those butterfly feelings, knowing that even after all the practice streams and all the practice flights, this is now live, this is your performance. Take off, on the roll. So holding the engines at 80% before we do release the brakes and go full reheat. And we start to pull the stick back around 230-240 kilometers an hour. I almost said knots there. We start our demo with a wing wave. Minimum speed before I pull up into the loop was 580 kilometers, and as you can see at the end of the runway we're well within that, passing 620. Looking up and over the top, we want to reposition on the centre line, as you can see by the cross, which was marked here by some school buses. Pointing those AL31 Saturn engines to the crowd, holding the aircraft in the vertical here as we prepare even for the snapshot into the flat spin. And snap the stick forward, pull back, aircraft goes flat on top. Left engine to idle, right engine forward, and full left pedal. Holding the stick full back at this point. And then you can see the right engine goes to idle and the needle for the left engine comes up as we start to slowly recover the aircraft. And then from the flat spin we transition into a figure of 8 turn.
Taxi hold short 08.
You can see Night Stalker's F15 below. Bringing it back into that display box then as we start that figure of 8. Reheat coming off. And then pulling quite hard on that stick so we don't approach into the no-fly zone. And then once again using the centre line here and into the aileron roll. And we reposition ourselves now for the Cobra. Now I deactivated the aircraft's fly-by-wire control system a little early there, which was the reason for the nose dipping. And at 480 kilometers we snap that stick back. A little forward pressure just to get the nose down a bit quicker and into full reheat. Build up that speed as we prepare for the Cobra loop on top. Just double checking that speed as we come over the top, pulling the stick hard to bring the aircraft round and completing the Cobra loop. Now from here it's a reposition into the inverted pass.
Will cow, chauffeur will comply.
As we position ourselves towards the
Roger,
box, getting ready to
proceed,
roll the
please.
aircraft over.
Copy.
A bit more forward pressure on the stick. Once again, full reheat up into the loop once more. Bringing that AL31 Thunder to thunder over Kutaisi. You can see once again using this cross in the centre to reposition. And we also have the pylons as a guide as well. This is the tail slide, which I was fortunate enough to see at the RIAT display, the SU-27 tail slide twice. So as we just hold the aircraft, maintaining that climb, engines are at idle, deploying some flares as well. And from the tail slide we transition into the dirty high alpha pass, which involves putting the gear down, the flaps down and the air brake out. And we're looking for a minimum speed of 200 kilometers, not wanting to drop below that at all. Now transitioning from the tail slide into the dirty high alpha pass is perfect because you have a lot of slow speed. You don't need a lot of thrust to recover from the tail slide, as you have gravity basically. So as we pull back into that box, keeping an eye on our display height and also our speed as well. Making those little adjustments on the throttle and the stick all the time. Again, another inspiration taken from the real life display. However, without the gear and the flaps, the Ukrainians just display it with the air brake. And then we go full reheat as the air brake comes back in. And then we perform the dirty roll. Gear and flaps come up. We maintain this level flight until the gear light goes out. And then we position the aircraft back towards show left. Coming back into the display box then, this time it's the appreciation pass. Deploying some flares. And just holding the aircraft in an arc across that box. Pulling up into the loop once more then, we're going to position ourselves this time for the flare finale. Which is basically deploying every flare we have left in a spiral. Once again aiming for that center point, pulling hard on the stick. Checking our position and we begin our roll and flare. Deploying every single flare that is left in the jet. Then cupping? Then coming up and over the top. And once again the left engine to idle, just a little bit of right engine and left pedal. As we bring the aircraft back towards the ground in a spiral.
HC to liquid, are you clear to just hold full landing?
Copy that. And now, because Bumblebee was going to be displaying after Night Stalker's F15 performance, he was going to be taking off before I landed, so I was just requested to hold by ATC. You can see once again the nose coming up quite aggressively there. That was reactivating the aircraft's ASC. As we just head away from the airfield here, that basically wraps up this performance.
HC to Bumble, expedite takeoff.
But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to display the SU-27. Like
Okay.
I stated in my airshow notes, the SU-27 I have the most experience with flying these style of flights in DCS. It was the first aircraft I started practicing airshow style flights actually here at Kutaisi. And I wanted to basically try and improve the routine after performing at the Sochi Invitational and the Lincoln Aviation Heritage Centre airshow as well. So this is a demo I will continue to practice and make sure I can get it as the best I can. As the best I can, what is that English? As best I can. But I absolutely love flying the SU-27, it's an absolute joy to fly. And as we line ourselves up for landing then, back at Kutaisi. Runway 08, little flare. And keeping some pressure on the stick to keep that nose up, just like they do in the actual display. And once again you can see Night Stalker's F15 just waiting on the right hand side. But there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the different perspectives and of course to see what it looks like from the cockpit. I also have the real life footage in there and of course some footage from the airshow itself as well. And you will have noticed by the microphone quality, I finally got myself a microphone. I'm not talking to you through a headset to try and improve the quality of content on the channel. But yeah, a big thanks to you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. And until the next video, I will catch you then. But until then, this is LIKWID, signing off.